Yo, what's up, North Texas barbecue addicts? It's me, Kenneth, and in today's episode, it's getting cold out here in Texas, and that only means one thing when it comes to firing up that grill for me. I mean, I cook all things all year round, but when it gets cold, I need my Texas style chili. And I've got some USDA prime ground beef from Six Brothers Beef Company. We're gonna fire that kettle up, break out the Dutch oven, and get to cooking. Y'all stick around. Alright guys, it's that time of year again. Like I said in the intro, we're gonna make some Texas style chili on the kettle. This time last year we used this kettle and a Dutch oven, and we're going to be doing the same thing today. Now this Dutch oven's been on the kettle getting heated up for about 10 minutes now. Just preheating it for our cook. This is where it starts to get good, y'all. I got a whole diced onion. I'm going to start out with sauteing that. There we go. Just get in here and stir that around. This onion's going to put a really nice flavor into our chili. That's why I want to start by sauteing the onions so they get nice and incorporated throughout the entire cook while we're doing our chili. With this chili, there's not a ton of ingredients. It's just how you treat the ingredients that makes it such an awesome turnout. So I wanted to keep stirring this around and sauteing it up. Alright. Now that those have started to cook, I'm going to add my next ingredient right here. Let me snag it real quick. Last video I did chili on, I used Shiner Bock. Today we're going to be using Coors Banquet. This is a 24-ounce beer. I'm going to get that open. And I'm just going to pour about a quarter of this 24-ounce beer in here. That's going to slow our cook process down. Let's go ahead and get these onions nice and stirred up in that beer. There we go. Man, this is smelling good already. You gotta love onions when it hits that skillet, or if you're cooking with onions, I just love it. So I'm gonna go ahead and put our lid back on, just like that, and then close the kettle down right here. I'm gonna check on that in about 10 minutes. Alright, it's been about 10 minutes, and you can literally smell those onions sauteing up in our Dutch oven here. Check that out. Starting to sweat down nicely and get softened. Alright, next up I have a whole roughly diced jalapeno with all the seeds also going in. We're going to start cooking that in that beer as well and getting this softened up. That'll add a nice flavor and a decent spice level. Won't be crazy spicy. If you want to get crazier with the spice level, you can add some serranos or habaneros or something like that. This is just going to be a good jalapeno flavor for our chili. So I'm going to let that saute up for about 5 minutes and then we'll keep cooking. Alright guys, this grill is rolling about probably 225. Man, it's smelling good out here. Go ahead and open that up. Next up, we're going to start adding our meat in here. Now I know last video a couple people asked why don't I brown my meat first, and I think that it's going to soak up all the flavors I'm working with to start out like this. And I know since we're cooking for a long process, lower and slower, it's going to get cooked down anyway. So I got 2 pounds of USDA prime ground beef, and this is from Six Brothers. I will have their information down below in the description box. I pulled this out this morning and started thawing it. Alright, so now you just got to get in here and break it up a little bit. So I'm going to let this ground beef brown for about 10 more minutes, and then we'll keep cooking. Y'all stick around. I've been stirring it about every couple minutes. Check that out. Man, you can smell those onions sauteing, the jalapeno, the ground beef cooking. I'm going to put a couple spoons of some minced garlic in here as well. I love me some garlic. If you don't like garlic, you can skip this. I said a couple. I put a few in there, so we're going to go ahead and get that stirred up and mixed in with the rest of our ingredients. Dang, now it smells awesome. Garlic cooking with onions, jalapenos, ground beef. I still got some of my Coors right here. We're going to toss that in. I'd say about another quarter of it, just to keep those juices flowing. And we'll save some in case we need to add it to it towards the end of the cook. There we go. So I'm going to put the lid back on and let that keep cooking for 10 more minutes. Alright, barbecue addicts, It's smelling awesome out here. Let's see what we're looking like. Oh yeah, that's starting to look real good. So we're gonna keep adding our ingredients. And next up, I've got some fire roasted diced tomatoes going in. That's two 14.5-ounce cans right there. Now this is starting to look real good, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and add in some more of our Coors beer. I realized I was supposed to have some beef broth and I forgot to bring that, so we're gonna add this whole beer in here for our liquid. There we go. We'll have so many flavors in here, we definitely won't be lacking anything, so get that poured in there, and some of this beer will evaporate, and then I'm gonna show you we're gonna add some tomato paste towards the end that'll help thicken it all up too, and our seasoning. So we're gonna shut this down and keep cooking. Alright y'all, so we've actually been letting this roll for about 25-30 minutes, and I've been stirring it about every 5 or so minutes. It is smelling awesome. Look at that bubbling. That's exactly what we want to see. I did add 1 can of tomato paste about 15 minutes ago, and that's why you see that nice rich red color. Our fire roasted diced tomatoes are starting to break down nicely. That's going to add a nice natural flavor to it as well. Let's go ahead and add our other can of tomato paste in here. And tomato paste helps thicken it up, and then it still obviously goes with our flavors of the tomato with the fire roasted tomatoes and everything like that. So I got 2 cans. This is 12 ounces, so 2 12-ounce cans of tomato paste going into our chili. You can smell all those ingredients that we've already added. There we go. A little bit left, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and stir that up. It's going to take a second for that tomato paste to kind of thin out a little bit to make it easy to stir in, but what it's going to do is it's just going to gel with all of the rest of our ingredients, and you can already tell our consistency is completely changing. This is smelling insane. Remember, we haven't added any seasonings yet. It does say for us to salt to taste. So what I want to do is I'm going to add a little bit of salt, pepper, garlic right here. And this is the first time we've put any seasoning in our chili. There we go. That'll be good. Remember, we still have our chili packets we're going to add here in a little bit as well. So I'm going to stir that up with that salt, pepper, garlic. Ooh-wee. That's smelling beautiful. Alright, so like I said, we're going to use some beef flavored cubes here. And this goes a little bit off track of what the Suckle Busters recipe is, but that's how chili is. You kind of make it your own. Chili is an awesome thing to use whatever you got around the kitchen for. So there's 1 cube in. We're going to go with 2 cubes. And that'll start dissolving into our chili as well and giving us a great flavor. That's already looking insane. So I'm going to let those beef cubes dissolve for about 10 minutes. And then we're going to add our chili packet seasonings and let that just simmer all day long, because we're going to have this for dinner. Got Monday Night Football. Look at that consistency. Starting to look real good, y'all. You could cook this in about an hour and a half or 2 hours if you want, but this is going to be amazing if you just let it simmer. And we're not in a hurry, so we're plenty hot on the kettle with that first chimney of charcoal we put. I'd say we're still around 220 degrees. I'm going to let that go for about 10 more minutes, like I said, and then we'll add the rest of the ingredients. Alright, so it's been about 10 or 15 minutes since we added those beef cubes. And we just stirred it up a little bit. I did a live on TikTok. If you don't follow on TikTok, we would appreciate it if you did. I'll have the link down below. Look at that stuff just bubbling. So y'all saw that I added some salt, pepper, garlic. This is the competition style chili that I'm using from Suckle Busters. It has 2 different bags of seasoning. One is labeled dump 1 and then dump 2. So we're gonna put dump 1 in right now and let that roll for 20 minutes. This chili's already got a beautiful color to it, but this seasoning is just gonna enhance that even more. Oh yeah, all the good stuff. I'll have Suckle Buster's information down below in the description box. This seasoning right here is also gonna help thicken up our chili. So this is the first set of seasoning. Like I said, dump 1. It's already starting to smell insanely good, thickening up exactly how I want it to. I'm gonna let that roll for about 15 or 20 minutes with the first batch of seasoning in it, and then I'll catch y'all back when we're adding the other one. Alright y'all, so it's been about 15 minutes. Let's go ahead and open this bad boy up and see how we're looking. That bubbling is just reducing all of our liquids. It's time to add dump number 2 right here. There we go. And this is the last of what we're adding into our chili. So let's go ahead and get that mixed in, and that's gonna thicken up our chili even more. And we're literally just gonna let this simmer and come together nicely. Again, you could eat this in about 20 or so minutes, but the more you let this chili simmer, the better. So if you want to start snacking on it right now, you could. We're just going to close the lid on the Dutch oven and keep this chili rolling until it's dinner time. We got Monday Night Football with some Texas style chili. Look at that consistency, guys. Alright, I'm going to shut this down and we'll check back with y'all. Alright guys, I can't even make this up. There wasn't enough chili. I mean, I did have a bowl of chili, but we were doing Monday Night Football while we were cooking this chili up. It turned out awesome, as y'all saw. The chili was flavorful. That Suckle Buster's competition seasoning that we put in there, the 2 different rounds of seasonings from Suckle Buster's we put in there with those sauteed onions, the sauteed jalapenos, it just didn't last. We were watching Monday Night Football. The chili was good. I had some sour cream, some cheese, some crackers. It was awesome, guys. Y'all are going to try that out. Sorry I couldn't do a taste test, but until next time, peace! Y'all keep on barbecuing.